Yeah, you know what it is. It's your boy Guess Who. You now tapped into the motherfucking greatest StreetNerdz Radio, the #1 station in the street.
You hear that?
Yeah. I think because the speakers outside is on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Start that again.
Yeah, we'll start it again. Yeah, you know what it is. It's your boy Guess Who. You now tapped into StreetNerdz Radio, the #1 station in the streets.
Yes, sir.
Man, look, before we get started, I want to give a major shout out to our sponsors and partners, BrightEverything. Again, make sure you go get them full episodes on BrightEverything. We want to shout out our sponsors for today, our clothing sponsors, Humble and Hungry. Make sure you go cop them.
Shit, real fresh.
Yeah, they be selling out pretty fast.
I need a couple, matter of fact.
Bro, you hear that? Make sure you got. That's why you got to give me a discount code or something so I can give it to the people.
Definitely.
For sure. Well, this man next to me, all I want to say is like, from the first time I heard his music to when I hear his perspective on things about life, he makes great music and now got a podcast coming up. We'll get into all that. I want to go ahead and give you your flowers. But go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, man, if you don't know who it is, you've been living on the rock like I love to say. It's your man Baux, a.k.a. Northside Swiss Slim, a.k.a. Mr. Appreciate You, a.k.a. Somebody mama like it, and it's probably yours.
Right. Hey, so let's get into it. Let's get people who living under that rock familiar.
Yeah, most definitely.
Where you from and how'd you grow up, bro?
The story behind Baux. So, I am originally born here, in Denver, raised between Denver and Mississippi. Most of the childhood in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi.
How was that growing up?
Man, kind of odd, I say, just because I bounced around a lot between here and there. But most of the time being down there, typical country neighborhood. 8 aunts and uncles, 4 and 4. And so for me though, I got stuck in the house with the women. You see what I'm saying? Like I wasn't like the older cousins, Darius and Lavelle and all them that got a chance to go outside and jug and play and do things of that nature. I had to stay inside. And so it kind of shaped me differently than my, cousins and brothers and sisters and things of that nature. And so what do I mean by that? It allowed me to learn, the women aspect, but my mother and grandmothers and aunts wasn't like, normal aunts. Right. They kind of had manly natures, meaning they ran the household. My uncles kind of was able to do whatever they wanted to.
Right.
Kind of had that immature nature, but the women in the household was kind of like, running it. My grandmother had a side hustle. She ran numbers, which,
in Jackson, Mississippi.
In Jackson.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? At the same time, she was a nurse. But everybody had their side hustle. Everybody had something that they had going on. At least the ladies did. The aunts, my mama. And so
is that where you would say you got your hustle from?
Most definitely. A lot of people think it came from, my uncles and things of that nature just because when I got older, I became so close to them.
Right.
But no, all the hustle, everything that shaped the mentality that you see that is me came from the women in the family. Right.
So Jackson, Mississippi, and Denver, Colorado, them are two totally different places.
Man, tell me about
what is the biggest difference or one of the biggest differences that between both places?
Yeah, I'd probably say the biggest difference between both places. It's a lot of differences. One of the main differences for me was coming from a place where our skin complexion, in so many words, fucks with each other. You dig what I'm saying?
There are so many of us down there.
Right. To a place where it's like, yo, what's up, G? And no response.
Right.
Or staring at a person gets you a hostile reaction. Like, yo, my G, I'm just looking at your fit. Like, you want to fight me now. Where the fuck is this coming from, right?
Right.
And then going back to Jackson and now what's happening is some of the stuff that I'm experiencing in Denver, I'm not even realizing subliminally is
rubbing off on
me. So I'm going back home and they like, yo, what's up with you? Why you weird, you different now because I'm adopting some of that those characteristics from them. So I would probably say that was probably the biggest piece for me as culture shock. Then the gang culture. I kind of got enthralled in that as I got older. The summers I would come up here, the more time I would spend up here, learning the Weatherstones, learning the East Side. Well, before the Weatherstones, the East Side, 32nd and Elizabeth. Martin Luther King and High Street, going to Bethlehem Missionary Baptist Church.
Did you participate in that?
So at first, it was one of those things where I hung with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I was in Park Hill hanging with the Bloods. I was in the Bells hanging with G5. You know what I'm saying? I was everywhere because I was the country cat. Everybody like, oh, Cam cool, he the neutral dude. Right? And so it was always that. But as I got older and they got older and shit started getting real, you know. Yeah. It started with the high school stuff. And then it started getting to where it's like, okay, now cats is getting older. Now these beefs is really turning into some real drama. Right. The high school gangs is, you know, these niggas is really starting to go join real Crips and Blood factions and shit. You know, shit's getting real. And so it was like, nah, bro, you gotta pick a side. So you can't just be, you can't kick it with him and then kick it with us. Like, we Trey. That's CMG. You know, so you can't do that, right? For me, it's like, but bro, where I'm from, we don't do. So gangs.
You would say you from Jackson, Mississippi?
Nah, I would say, so for the longest time when I was a child, right, I had this, I would have identity crisis, and it was because I have borderline personality disorder. Right. And so I always transitioned between both, right? I could never figure out, like, okay, am I from here or am I from here? And so as I got older, man, I've been here since I was 16 now, you know? And so I tell people, no, I'm a never native. I'm here. I was born here. I spent most of my time here in between, jumping back and forth. And so, you know, I tell most of the people, most of the time, you'll have this balance where Cass is like, but nah, I seen Cam all the time when we was coming up. But it's like, but when did you see me? If you think about it, you see me during the summertime, free time, we jigging to play. But during the school year, what was I at? So I'm saying I was back down. And so now that I'm grown, I'm older, I'm here.
Right. Jumping off the porch, you said you got to a point where you had to choose. Was it a decision that you chose, or was it something that you felt like you really didn't have no choice?
Nah, it's always been a choice for me. Always something I choose. I was always taught by my mother, you know, you never give your power to nobody, period. Female, society, drugs, extracurricular activity, nothing. You know what I'm saying? You maintain your power. Now, you can loan your power out, right? And we do that often. You have to loan your power out. What do I mean by that? Hell, if you're in a relationship with a female, you better loan some power out. You dig what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're going to constantly go through drama. You're going to constantly go through shit because there has to be a balance of power. A job position, if you work a 9 to 5 and you got a boss, you better know how to relinquish some power, even as alphas, because us as alphas, you know, it's hard for us to fucking relinquish any goddamn thing because we think we always right. 9 times out of 10, well, I can't say 9, 8 times out of 10, an alpha is. Why? Because the alpha does the work. Right. To know that they right. I'm not just saying that we fucking right because we right. Nah, alpha gonna be up while you sleep, studying how to get to the correct answer. So when you goofy motherfuckers come and try to challenge, they can cross their legs and nah, motherfucker, what I'm saying is this, right? And so I think for me, it's yeah.
So that choice of jumping out the porch and jumping into the shit, what would be as the man you are now, speaking on where you at now and then, what would be the biggest gem that you would tell your younger self about that decision?
Yeah. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. The need to fit in is not that important. And ultimately is going to put you in a position to where you almost lost your life. You dig what I'm saying? And so that decision of becoming a gang member, of starting a Crip, ultimately, probably 11 months in almost cost me my life because I ran across some older real bloods that wasn't playing those high school games that we was on at the time. Right. And so it got real. And I honestly don't even know how I got out of this situation. Literally, I don't know how I got out of this situation. I blacked out. I remember getting stomped out by 17 cats and blacked out. Next thing I know, I'm at the crib with my moms. I don't know how, you know what I'm saying? And so I know that's the divine in the ancestors. But that taught me a lesson, you know, then early. And this was 18, 19 years old at that time. It taught me then, hey, this is why they kept you on that porch. but they allowed you to see so much, but not get involved in it because you ain't built for that. You dig what I'm saying? And so I'd be the first person to say, gangbanging was never for me. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But because of how I was brought up and who I was, right? So I was brought up boxing. That's the name Baux. I just changed it to, BAUX for musical purposes. But I grew up boxing. And so it was one of them situations where I didn't necessarily need to join the gang, but I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be like everybody else.
Because here, there's some that,
Here, it's big.
Yeah,
it's big in Denver. Let's just keep it real. It's where you from? You know what I'm saying? What you banging? Like it's almost like it's a small Cali out here. I call it. You feel what I'm saying? A small, just that environment. You did what I'm saying? At least at least the time I'm talking about. I ain't talking about right now. Maybe not. I'm not as tapped in as I was before, but I'm talking about mid-90s, early 2000s. I'm talking about when the Asbury's was around. I mean, we talking about the burning of the Holly, like during them times, like real shit, the bloody summer, that we had here, that you know about, right? And so I'm talking about when Martin Luther King wasn't so friendly, like that dividing line, like you can't just go standing there on that Pizza Hut. Like now you can go kick it at the Pizza Hut. Back then, nigga, you better not be on Martin Luther King with a certain color at a certain time. You feel what I'm saying? That's the dividing line. So, it was one of them things where it was like I was raised not to be a punk. I could fight. I'm gonna get with you, but I wasn't doing what my cousins was doing. Like they was taught to fight, but they also taught to shoot them pistols. They also was taught to, X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I taught to carry a pistol and all that, but to take care of myself as a man, that I'm kind of like your Kendrick, good kid, mad city type. And so, but I said, nah, fuck that. I'm jumping in the lion's den, and I jumped out and quickly found out this ain't for me.
So for somebody, an out-of-town person to come up to you, because you travel a lot, so let an out-of-towner come up to you and they ask you what the culture is in our city, in Denver.
I get that a lot.
What do you tell them then?
I tell them the culture in Denver is not what they think, because most of the time people approach me with, you from Denver? Y'all ski and smoke weed and, you know what I'm saying, like a bunch of stoners that just ski and cowboys and shit's all sweet, right? And so I always tell them, no, man, listen, I kind of present them to it like Denver's like a little Cali. They're like, what you mean by that? I'm like, man, Denver got an underworld that a lot of people don't know about. See, my mama did her thing.
You say underworld like Gotham City.
It is. It really is. It's an underworld kind of like Gotham City. Like, see, most cities have their quote unquote underworld or hoods, projects, whatever, above ground. Meaning you can go pull up to the hood, you see it, things of that nature.
Right.
A lot of people say, well, Denver ain't got no hoods. And they're right. We don't have, we used to. There's no conducive places where you can go pull up and see it's just a gang of hood shit going on all the time. But what people don't realize is there's underground shit. See, a lot of them apartments that you'll ride past and you like, oh, ain't shit going on there, boy. $1 million plays going on in them buildings. You know what I'm saying? In them buildings. We talking about streetwise, right? Again, we don't talk about that type of stuff because we don't want no problem with the alphabet boys. But what I'm saying is gang culture, drug culture. If you do your research and you look up shit, Denver sits on a list for a hub of a couple things. And we ain't gonna talk about it again. But Aurora specifically. But a lot of people think that it's sweet out here. So I kind of, present that to them first. Like, if you come in here with the intention, like most cats come, like lame cats, pushovers, you're going to find yourself in a fucked up position.
You're going to easily find out.
You're going to easily find out. Because cats around here, we don't do a lot of talking. Niggas is, a word. Who this goofy? All right, cool. Not a problem. And you're going to see a nigga slide off. Or first, you're going to see a nigga have a conversation. And then he's going to slide off. You better move.
Yeah,
and we're going to leave it there.
For sure. So, at what point did you fall in love with music?
Man, shit. Since I was a kid, man.
Was it a moment or a song that you'd be like, at this point, I was like, yeah. Not rapping, though.
Yeah.
Not making music.
Rap,
just
rap
music.
Didn't even come until high school. And honestly, rap came from just from another cat, me wanting to be like somebody else. You dig what I'm saying? And so, but music came from childhood. Being in the household, Eunice, Angie, Pearlie Mae, Diane, you dig what I'm saying? My aunts, Dorothy, all of them, like they playing oldies, Love on the Two-Way Street by the Shy Lights, you dig what I'm saying? They playing Midas Touch, Moonstar, like they playing all of that. They playing Bobby Brown, Afrobeat was huge in the household, like that type of stuff. I didn't listen to hip hop until I got to high school. That's when I got to DMX, Tech Nine. Tech Nine and DMX was like the first two cats. I mean, of course, I heard Criss Cross over the years, but what I'm saying is we at a party, birthday party. We at a friend house. We ain't playing that in the crib. Mama ain't lying, no hip-hop in the house. And so, but like for me, like, all right, I'm grown enough to buy my own stuff and do my own thing. It was DMX and Tech Nine. And so I fell in love with Angelic and, it's Dark and Hell is Hot. And so that's kind of what, I wasn't even rapping in. It was just like, this shit was dope. And so then, boom, got to high school, 9th grade, Delano. I can't even remember his last name, Delano, lunchtime. Big ass crowd. I'm like, who the hell is this? So I go make my way through the crowd. Some nigga over there be about, you know what I'm saying? And he busting like Twister. I'm like, what is that? Yo. Like, I've you hear it on record, I had never seen that shit like in person. I'm like, yo. It wasn't that for me though. It was watching the females. Like, this little ugly nigga got all these bad bras staring at him. Nobody was paying attention to that. At least the fellas wasn't. So I said, okay. All right. Because these bras, they wasn't giving me no play. You dig what I'm saying? 90, we talking what? 98, 99. It's genuine time. This is the so anxious. This, if you wasn't light-skinned with the little curl, button up, do-rag hanging out the right pocket, brush in the other pocket, nigga, you got curls. Why you got a brush? Nigga, I got to keep the taper right. You know what I'm saying? Just a little gay, excuse me, we gonna edit that. Yeah. The lame shit that, they did back then. And so I was like, all right, cool. I got to figure out how to do this rap thing he doing. And so I went home. I knew cat. I ain't no rap. So I started going and looking for stuff, and I came across Shaq. I went to Sam Goody's, Royal Mall, came across Shaq's album. Now, here was my logic.
Shaq went platinum.
But these cats ain't listening to Shaq around here. They listening to Selly Cell. They listening to goddamn Sibo, Itopsy. You know what I'm saying? They listening to the Brother Lich Hung. Like, that's what they on. They not listening to, right? So I went and got Shaq album, and I started dissecting it. That song whack. And I finally found one, and I can't remember what the name was. I think it was like Playing on the West Side. Like, Playing on the West Side, I didn't even know it went. All right, so boom. Took the verse, broke it down. I think I was calling myself Pinball. I was like, all right, I'm going to name myself Pinball. I was watching Con Air. Remember Dave Chappelle?
Yes.
Yeah, I said I was going to be Pinball. Boom.
Right.
Woke up the next morning, found my freshest outfit, put it on. Boom. Ditched class early just to get to the cafeteria. Found Delano. I said, hey, Chi, you should let me rap with you today. He was like, what? You rap? I was like, man, I do my thing. He was like, all right, bet. Boom, bell ring. Everybody come. I was like, we ain't gonna eat. He's like, nah, I don't eat lunch. We gonna go. We go right to the little corner. Boom. Old buddy come out, bust a little, you know what I'm saying? Delano go first. Soon he started tapping me to jump in. I jumped in with the little Shaq verse. I'm standing in the night. I don't even remember the verse. Man, everybody went crazy. Oh, that nigga Cam Cole, this shit, boom, boom, boom. Boy, how about for the next 2 weeks, I had every goddamn cheerleader. All them chicks I tried to get play was just, oh, can we eat lunch with you? You want to walk me home? All this, you don't know play. Still ain't get no play. Right. But what I'm saying is, got me that much closer. Man, how about goddamn by that third week, I spit it again and somebody in the crowd finally caught it. Said, man, that's the same rhyme. Spit another one. I froze. That's when my rap career ended.
Hey, we can't speed past. Bro, you said Shaq?
Shaq, bruh.
You said
Shaquille
I want to be clear about what you said. You said you took a Shaq verse.
I took a Shaq verse.
And you rapped it at school, and niggas went crazy.
They went dumb.
People, it's about who raps it. That's why Drake got Quentin Miller to write his music. Because certain times it's like, you get what I'm saying? That's crazy.
I ain't even think about it the way you said it. Yeah, that's you said it. Because I mean, crazy. It was, again, at the time, You got Twister out. You had to Speed My Mobsters.
He's like, ain't nobody listening to Shaquille O'Neal, so I'm gonna take Shaq's verse.
And I took it, and they went dumb for 2 weeks. Every day for 2 weeks, I spit that same verse. You
should have found another verse from that next album.
You know what? I wasn't thinking. I was just living on the high.
You bought the Shaq album?
I went and bought the Shaq album from Sam Goody.
You bought the Shaq album.
But see, again, you got to keep in mind, I've been buying music that most cats. That's why I got bullied for that. So I started boxing. My mother put me in Golden Gloves at 9 because I was getting bullied because I listened to the shit when nobody else listening to. Once I got my little Walkman and all that stuff, and we walking in, what you listening to, Cam? And they popping my shit open, and they like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Muddy Waters, Ray Charles, the best of Ray Charles, man. Oh, lame. And so I'm getting beat up, right? And so that I go to boxing. So I've been buying Nirvana, Ray Charles, Pink. You dig what I'm saying?
Hey,
like I've been in love with music.
Classic artists though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's my favorite.
Whoever was bullying you for that, their life probably suck right now. Cause
I don't think so. I think it's just it's a product of environment. We don't know. We're taught to adapt and to love and to like what we're brought up on, and so fortunately in my household, Paula Abdul just happened to be in that repertoire. You feel what I'm saying? And so I believe it makes me that much more diverse as an adult.
So your music,
yeah.
Now when you say that, you can definitely hear that in your music.
Okay, yeah.
Let's talk about the project that just dropped.
Man, so welcome to Borderline Personality Disorder. Just dropped.
What's the meaning behind that?
So it's pretty much welcoming. Well, twofold. So borderline personality disorder is a diagnosis that's or disorder that has been attached to our Caucasian women, our counterparts for just years. It's been found out recently that it's not so. That it's transitioning. So a lot of people have been misdiagnosed, especially when it comes to us as minorities, but especially us as black males have been misdiagnosed with bipolar, PTSD, when we actually in fact have borderline personality disorder. And so basically what it is a disorder that deals with three main things: your emotions, your relationships, and how you see yourself, how you identify and look at yourself. And so basically since the age of 9, I've known something the hell was wrong with me. Mm-hmm. Diagnosed last year. But I'm like, again, how can I go in this room happy? I'm about to go outside, play, look at something, and then in a split of a second, like, turn into the Hulk. I black out, and I want to fight, and I done said this, and then I come to, and now everybody telling me, you done did this, and you done said that, and you. Now I go into this other little cycle of episode of sadness and depression and want to die, and just it's this roller coasters of emotions. And so the personality disorder is because your emotions make you look like different people. You know what I'm saying? Like today I woke up and was like, I don't feel like doing nothing with my hair. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of cats is like, I would never walk out the house looking like that. It's normal for me. I'm fine. You don't like this? What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to bring people into that world. And my only way of doing that is through the music.
The song that best defines you.
Welcome to Borderline Personality Disorder. I'll probably say the track, the track from the album, or that's, because it gives you a daily view of me. One moment I'm, this Malcolm X, Martin Luther. This next moment I'm this, woe is me, I don't want to be in smug no more. You know what I'm saying? And then it's back to something else. It's like 4 different of me at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? And so always feeling empty, always feeling alone on a daily basis. That's a part of the disorder. I mean, I could be in a room full of 1,000 people and always feel alone, feel vulnerable. And so it's a constant balance, but I wanted to bring especially men, black males, not just black males, but just males in general, into this world, because there's the stigma that when we tap into our emotions, when we start dealing with that, we do therapy, and that's weak, that's lame, don't nobody want to know. And you overly emotional, you too sensitive. And so men then be like, man, well, then I ain't finna deal with therapy then. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to tell you. And then we become these,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then what's wrong? Nothing. See, I want a man, you know what I'm saying? And then it's but I turned it off because you wouldn't allow me to get it off because I was too sensitive and you didn't want to hear it. Or not just saying ladies, I'm just saying the world in general.
In general,
the world does not want to hear a man complain.
So look,
and, so I say space for us. So
we're gonna go ahead and do a live reaction. This be what we've been doing for all the episodes.
Y'all gonna play the jump? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna play the jump. So let's go ahead, Buggz. You got me for sure.
Wake the fuck up!
Covered, inspired by
Fuck up this
the
morning!
Beatles, Abbey Road
Classic.
cover. Again, one of my favorite groups. It's the Beatles. So, damn, I left my water outside.
Ain't no rest for the weary. I'm guarding gang.
Yeah.
I've been wondering if I'm really
We got positive
crazy.
vibes in the room. It's just 222.
Wondering why God has made me.
Just change.
Thinking that Angie really forsake me. But like my mama though. But one day you gon' look and I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. So long. Holding on this shit is too wrong. I don't wanna be strong. I'm just trying to move on. But one day you gon' look and I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. So long. Holding on this shit is too wrong. I don't wanna be strong. I'm just trying to move on. Dear God, I pray you hear me. I'm looking for you, come near me. These people seem to fear me, but that shit don't matter no more. Most times I hate reflection. My mind, it keeps me guessing. Is this reality I feel or the highest deception? Sometimes I love my niggas. Most times I love those figures, but on a daily basis I'm contemplating ending niggas. Most times I feel abandoned. Sometimes it's hard to manage. Imagine speaking to yourself, but the translation's in Spanish. Sometimes I love myself. Most times I wanna die. Some days I love living. Most days why even try? Sometimes I for different people and I'm not knowing why. Most times I'm in a rage in a cage and ain't no end in sight. Sometimes I love hard to get us all through stormy weather. Most days I invite the pain cause the shit feels better. Every day I live half in anxiety. I just want the world to turn and come and put your eyes on me. I've been wondering if I'm really crazy. I do. Wondering why God has made me. I do. Thinking that Angie really forsake me. See what I did there? But like my mama though. But one day you gon' look and I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. So long. Holding on this shit is too wrong. I don't wanna be strong. I'm just trying to move on. One day you gon' look and I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. So long. To this soul. Holding on this shit is too wrong.
Now is that you singing?
That is. So every voice you hear on this record is me.
Mental health disorder.
Even the female voices.
Characterized by unstable moods, behaviors, and relationships.
Even the deep ones.
Unclear shifting in self-image.
Impulsive and destructive behavior, self-harm, extreme emotional swings, chronic feelings of emptiness.
Hey,
Welcome to BPD.
I like that. I like that song a lot.
I appreciate that. Man.
I like that vibe.
I appreciate it. I
For
appreciate it.
sure, for sure.
The albums all over the place. And the reason being is so you can see the stages of BPD. So like the intro, like that's track 2 on the album, but like the intro is like it's some trap, Atlanta down south type shit, right?
Right.
And then it goes into that vibe, and then track 3 is Bay Meadows Road, which is a pop 80s vibe. You see what I'm saying? And then after that it goes into some, it's just all over the place. And so again, I wanted to bring people into, let me show you the day. It's really borderline personality, so it's only 9 songs, but it's a day of Baux. And so just take you through the day.
Bro, that shit
That's
was
dope.
incredible.
I appreciate
Hey,
that, man.
right?
I appreciate
That's
that.
real music right there.
I appreciate that.
Hey,
man.
that's
Man.
definitely that, man. I appreciate that, man. Hearing that shit and being able to understand and be able to hear somebody be able to speak about something that a lot of people may frown upon.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like not feel comfortable in speaking about.
To actually put out
You know what I'm saying? That leads me to the podcast.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, what was your mind state in coming up with the fact that I think I want to go ahead and start this podcast?
Yeah. I think it was to help us men, because I know shit for years I've sat back like, yo, nigga, help me. You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin say. And so once I finally start finding the help, I'm kind of like a little kid, like, yo, y'all come check this out. Because they told us for years, nah, man, that's you. You know what I'm saying? Bottle that weak ass emotion. Like, we don't, hey, we men, we don't cry, deal with it, figure it out. Nah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna fly no more. That's why nowadays the crime rate, the murder rate is through the fucking roof. That's why you'll have a kid go knock somebody down and then go to social media and brag about it. We wasn't raised like that.
And these some of the topics you talk about on your podcast.
Oh man, we talk about all kind of stuff. But again, pertaining to the vein of mental health. So most of the guests that I have on the podcast, or that I am gonna have on the podcast, are gonna be everywhere from doctors to entertainers to musicians to everyday regular people, homeboys, I want you on the podcast, but the goal is to have you come and speak about your journey in mental health, whether you have started it or whether you haven't. You know, I want people to see, hey, everybody on this podcast that he invite don't have it together. I want them to be able to see somebody say, yeah, man, I ain't got my shit together, man. Yo. Because that's going to make somebody tune in like, oh, okay, hold up, wait a minute.
Because maybe I identify with that.
Exactly. I ain't got my shit together either, so hold on. I was about to turn this shit off, but let me. And so now we can kick the shit back and forth. I'm not saying that I'm going to give like the solution, but let's bounce this shit back and forth. Buggz might have something for you. I might have something for you. Hell, the ancestors divine might throw something at us. But what I'm saying is, let's start the conversation. Or if you one of the people that's in, let's continue the conversation. Or if you one of the people that's mastered it, yo, teach me and the rest of the people how to get the fuck over this mental health shit. Because we don't want to be like this all the time.
Right.
We can get over this. You feel what I'm saying? And so that's the goal. I love the ladies, but ladies got everything. You know, when it comes to that space. And so in my research and studying and looking for like 2 years, there's no platforms for men, specifically for borderline personality disorder, but just for mental health. That's only mental health. I ain't talking about, they sitting talking about sports, like this blends, but nah, I'm talking about mental health. We got plenty of other platforms. You can go Joe Budden, all that stuff. My podcast is for mental health. You want some help to get over whatever? My baby mama say I'm crazy. She told me come watch your podcast. We're gonna talk about it. It's raw, it's real. If you got sensitive nature about you, don't watch my podcast.
If you tender, don't watch it.
Don't watch it, because it's raw, it's real, it's gonna be authentic, and I want you to be irritated. I want you to be challenged. I don't want you to come in, that's what the other podcasts for. I want you to, like me. Like my therapist makes me feel every time I go to therapy. Ooh, I want to fucking punch you. But by the end, I'm like, I appreciate you, man. I'm saying, thank you, Bishop. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to be able to feel like that. Period.
Man, 2023. What does your 2023 look like?
Grinding and working. So 2 projects already done. Northside Switzerland 2 dropping this week. High Corn project is dropping this spring. That's going to be hosted by DJ Filthy Rich. Shout out to DJ Filthy Rich out in Atlanta. Shoot, man. Working on the podcast. Got some shows coming up. Got some deals on the table. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to take them or if I'm going to stay independent,
It's going to look good.
It's going to look decent.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, I got a question that I asked, and I like to hear people's answers.
Yeah.
Who is Baux?
See, that's difficult for me because I got BPD. And so I say whenever I'm asked that question, I'll give you the answer that I give mostly everybody when I'm asked that question. I don't know. I'm figuring out as I go, but I'll let you know.
Man, for sure. Where can they find you, Brody?
Man, I am Baux on all platforms. That's Twitter, that's Snapchat, that's Instagram. I'm not on Facebook, so pretty much just those 3. YouTube, I am Baux or 617 Music Group or Legend X Syndicate. Type any of those in, but I am Baux, BAUX on all platforms. Type that in, Spotify, Tidal. It's everywhere.
Man, I appreciate you. Hopefully we get you back in the summer so we can see that progress.
Oh man, most definitely. And so I just appreciate you, man. It's been a minute of me watching. Like I've been a fan even before I even got, started with the music, back up with the music and things of that nature. And so I appreciate what you do for the city. I appreciate what you do, not just for the city, but just for the young talent, the young voices, and just the voices of the city, allowing them to be able to speak their truth. You know what I'm saying? Unfiltered.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And that's the piece, but remaining neutral. You dig what I'm saying? In the midst of wolves and hyenas. I tell people we in the lion's den, but ain't no motherfucking lions, niggas, hyenas and wolves at this bitch. So, being neutral and being able to bring them sides together and not get caught in the crossfire, I commend you for that shit, so.
Stand up nigga.
Yeah, most definitely.
Man, so I want to give you your flowers, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Buggz, want to give Buggz
yes.
his flowers.
Hardest man.
Man, hardest man working in this
Thank
shit.
you, man. I love this show.
Man, so we're going to keep it going. Hey, if you want the full episodes, BrightEverything on YouTube right now. If you could wait for the clips, if you like to be short and sweet, you on the go. Man, StreetNerdz Radio. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that bell to get notified whenever he drops some shit. Man, and we out.